And welcome to specific defenses of the host, the immune response. And the first slide is about definitions. So innate immunity is non-specific ways of becoming immune to the particular pathogen. Immunity is going to evoke the responses of white blood cells, and the part that is seen as foreign or different is an antigen. So what happens right here is that you have, when you're in utero, an opportunity to memorize every nook and every cranny and every cell surface molecule in your body, and you label that as self. Then anything else that comes into your body that's different is non-self, antigenic, foreign, and will be reacted against. So we did non-specific, this is specific. So you're going to find out that lymphocytes do specific reactions, and there's a particular type of lymphocyte called a B as in boy, a B lymphocyte, and it makes a wonderful protein Y-shaped molecule called an antibody. And the binding site, the ends of the Y, are so magnificently specific that you can just get really, well, I was going to say specific. You can get very, very specific reactions and leave your normal cells alone and only address the pathogen. So the acquired immunity is what you live through. So you live through measles and mumps and chicken pox and things of that nature, and you will have memory of that. So actually having a disease, surviving the disease, you'll have memory. So if you ever come in contact with that pathogen again, your immune system will remember it and you won't get sick again. Humoral immunity is really what this particular PowerPoint is all about. It's about the products of B cells, antibodies. Now, antibodies will circulate in your blood to protect you. And way back when with the Greeks referred to the blood as humors. And that's the reason why it's called humoral immunity, because antibodies are carried in your blood, especially memory antibodies, and so they are in the humors of your body. Later, we will talk about cell-mediated immunity, and those are a different type of lymphocyte. Those are the T lymphocytes. So we'll get to those a little bit later after Thanksgiving. So how can you acquire immunity? You can acquire immunity naturally. So you have natural acquired active immunity. You got the disease and you live to tell the tale. So you got the disease, you got the measles, the mumps, the flu, the chicken pox, whatever it may be, and then your immune system will develop memory, and that is going to be naturally acquired active immunity. If you ever come in contact with that pathogen again, your immune system kicks in immediately and you don't get sick. So it does result from an infection. Naturally acquired passive immunity means you don't do anything about it. You get it from somebody else. So mother's milk, if you breastfeed a baby, you can protect the baby against everything that you have been immunized against, every disease you have gotten that you have memory for. You will have antibodies shed into the milk, and the baby will take your antibodies, your memory, and it will then be able to protect itself. Now, problem is that it will be about 6 weeks after you stop breastfeeding that the antibodies will break down. But in the meantime, the child should have been vaccinated, and that should be able to protect them. Then we get into artificial. So artificial acquired active immunity is vaccination. You get vaccinated, you are going to be given a harmless form of the organism, so you trick the immune system into thinking that you got the real thing, and you develop memory. Now, artificially acquired passive immunity. Now, this has to do with sometimes you get exposed to something. So you might, especially in a college setting, might be exposed to infectious hepatitis, which can just whip through dorms like nobody's business. And if the college knows that infectious hepatitis is hitting dorms, they can give individuals immediate immunity against the hepatitis virus. And that is a shot of gamma globulin. Gamma globulin is somebody else's antibodies that had infectious hepatitis and developed immunity, and their blood was taken and their antibodies were separated, and you got their antibodies, and that gives you immediate protection so that you would not develop infectious hepatitis even though you would be exposed. Again, it only lasts about 6 weeks, but after 6 weeks, hopefully the epidemic's over, or if it isn't over, you can get a booster. So that is acquired immunity. What this is showing you is a bacterial cell, a pathogen. What you have right here are your little antigens. Those are those molecules seen as foreign or different by your immune system. And this is an antibody. This is that little Y-shaped molecule that I was talking about. And it's the tips of the Y right here and right here, which has very specific binding sites for the bacterial antigen. And we're going to find out after Thanksgiving that the binding of the antibody along with what is called serum complement can kill this cell. So it can kill it dead and specifically target it and leave your cells alone. So it's a beautiful system. So this is up close and personal what an antibody looks like. And I'm not going to get into all the details. What I want to show you right about here and here is the very specific binding site on the tips of the Y. So bacterial antigens, pathogenic antigens, viral antigens, cancer antigens, you name it. You can get antibodies formed against it, bind to the foreign cell, and with serum complement, kill it dead. So, as humans, we have 5 different antibodies. One of them is not listed because we don't know what it does, so I'm not going to get into it, and you don't make a whole lot of it anyways. It's 0.001%. So I'm going to talk about the ones that you do make a lot of. IgG is the first. IgG is said to be a monomer, and most of the antibodies in your blood are IgG. Most of the memory antibodies are IgG. But it's the second to arrive in an active acute infection. I'll show you why in a sec. But what it is that you're going to have the big guns arrive first, and then the mop-up crew is going to be the IgG. It can cross the placenta. That's going to be an important point. It means that the developing fetus can be protected by your memory antibodies, even though you might be exposed and might indirectly expose the growing fetus to an infection. So it can bind 1, 2 antigens. Now, when IgG binds to a pathogen, it can enhance phagocytosis. Remember, neutrophils, and they can eat foreign organisms and eliminate them. They can also bind and neutralize toxins and neutralize viruses as well. And so with complement, it can bind and kill microbes, and it does protect the fetus and the newborn. IgM is the big gun. Look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 antigens, or 10 cells at a time. So it's called a pentamer. There are 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called a joiner chain. It reminds me of a keychain. This J chain or joiner chain holds everybody together, and it's like a pinwheel. And it is an incredible antibody that can just go out there and so interact with the pathogen and clear them away in no time flat. So they're the first to arrive at the site of infection. Now, agglutination of microbes, I'll talk about after break. And again, with complement, it can bind and kill microbes. Now, IgA. You have your insides protected by your IgG and your IgM, but you have surfaces of your body. You have tears that are going to protect your eyes. You're going to have sweat. You're going to have mucus. All kinds of body secretions to help protect the outside of your body. This is the job of IgA. So what happens with the IgA is it is able to, okay, so it's a dimer. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 antigens that it can interact with. You hold it together with the J chain, but look at the secretory component. That is what allows it to get into your body secretions, into your tears, into your sweat, into your saliva, into your mucus. And so it can protect your skin, protect your eyes, protect your mucous membranes from pathogenic invasion. And then IgE. IgE is the antibody of allergy. It's a monomer, so it can bind 1, 2 at a time, depending. Now look at this. This seems really low, but it kind of depends. If you are allergic and you are in an allergy season, if you have asthma, and you have an acute episode of asthma, believe me, your IgE is high at that time. It's very low with people who are not allergic, don't have asthma. But for people who do, it can be low between allergy seasons, or low between asthma attacks. But when you're in full throttle, that is a very high number. What we're going to discover is that, and we had talked about histamine before, IgE can bind to a type of cell. It's called a mast cell in tissues, and a basophil, which is a type of white blood cell in the blood. And it can cause histamine release. And histamine is that vasoactive chemical that causes inflammation. And so when you have inflammation in your respiratory tract, inflammation in your GI tract, inflammation underneath your skin, those are all kinds of allergy reactions. So we, as a group of people in hygienic societies, end up having basically inappropriate IgE responses. But if you are in a third world country or lived way back when, IgE was very, very good at getting rid of parasitic worms. And parasitic worm infections are a problem of unhygienic living, and IgE was, or still is, superb at getting rid of parasitic worms. Some people feel that now that we don't have parasitic worms, that it's like the immune system needs to do something, and so it gives us inappropriate asthma and allergies. And so that is the end of the antibody. And what we're going to do now is take the quiz. It's on Moodle. You have half an hour. It can be open book. And whatever you get on that quiz, you can then apply that as extra credit for the 4th exam. So I will see you after Thanksgiving, and have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.